society like ours. So I think that way reading contributes to the betterment of society.
I wish to pose a question. This is me personally, right? Our current environment, to me, is very noisy. So we live in a very noisy environment. And I personally find, when I read, it quietens down things. It makes me see perspective. Anybody want to share? Has anybody had that experience as far as reading is concerned? And that helps me when it comes to the fact that I get calmer when I communicate with people. Yeah.
It's mindfulness, actually. And that's what is happening when you find, you're able to contemplate, read in silence and in peace, and absorb everything around you as well. So I think that is an important, psychological impact of reading on adults, particularly. So I think that's it's also a modality of treatment, like Dr. CB just now mentioned, with regards to his patient. Although I might not quite agree with what his advice to very benevolent of you to ask the wife to be so forgiving to the husband. I would have suggested something nasty.
So the noise can be outside as well as inside. I think reading really helps to also quieten the noise within yourself by self-reflections. And then when you get older, I think that comes easier. Self-realization, reflections, self-actualization and all of those things. So it's also the noise inside.
And also the patience. Patience, really, when you read, I think that is something that's so lacking in today's society.
So I would like the panel to elaborate how, you've already inferred it, but how does it affect society from a positive standpoint? Can somebody give an example, Dr. C, any other example from your miraculous patient?
Thank you. Okay, see, most of the time when the patient comes, we sometimes ask them to, of course we are dealing with the body. For example, if the person, we are telling them, you need to relax. Sometimes we tell them. But most of the time patient will say, everybody's telling us to relax, but we don't know how to relax. We tell them, meditate. There are 1,000 types of meditation techniques are there. And they have been telling that, I do practice this, I do practice that, but I can't sometimes sleep, I can't still feel relaxed. See, there is this Buddhist way of thought process, which is actually, we advise to the patient is that, when you are actually in doing a meditation, what we are, everybody when they are doing a meditation, we will have an expectation that we should get some peace of mind. We should find some solution for certain things, and we should be sleeping. If you are having that expectation that I should get some benefit out of that, then it's going to be difficult. So we advise the patients that you meditate to be mindful, to be present. That mindfulness will give you an insight to understand who you are. When you understand who you are, you understand the weaknesses and strength of you, which will make you to be a better person. Here, the individual has to grow. If you are going to be the same person, and if you are not going to understand anything, there is no benefit. So meditation or a process of mindfulness is to make you understand who you are, and that should be able to help you to be a better person. That means he should be able to change. He has to improve himself through meditation. If that's not happening, it's even if you are meditating for 2 hours or for 20 years or so, you will not get any benefit. The person has to improve and he has to change. So he has to observe himself as an individual from a different perspective to know that I have to change. If I have to change, what change I can do? Maybe I should exercise. Maybe I should forgive. Maybe I should understand it better. But that has to improve. So, and when you are actually telling them also to meditate, this is the perspective you are expecting. To understand that we may not be able to give them a 2-hour lecture in a consultation room. That's the time we give them some book references. We tell them, you read this book which is written by this particular author. This book called Reinventing Life. It's a very old book written by one of the famous psychiatrists actually. In that they talk about all these schemas which we go through it, and we tell them, you have a subjugation schema and you read this, and when they read this they understand it, and when they understand it, it also explains how can you change that character of you, how can you change that behavior of you. So by explaining through our consultation, it's not difficult, it's not easy to do that. So we have to give the reference of a book, and then they read. And when they read, they are not reading like a story, they have to read to make sure that they understand it, and are they ready to change. If they are ready to change, then the person's condition which he is suffering for a long time, maybe 10 years, 15 years, that he can't sleep, he will improve back.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish, before I go to Nas, I wish to bring back this item which I brought up at the very early stage of my opening. This is 1450. The year was 1450. Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press. He didn't actually invent the printing press. The Chinese and the Koreans already had it, but he made printing press cheap. As a result of that, books were written. Before that, there were scribes. So these are observable things around. From the 14th century to the 20th century, man advanced because of the availability of reading material. Man advanced beyond what man has advanced in the last 10,000 years, right? Is there some mechanical or thing that's happening in your mind when you read as an adult? Then I'll go to Nas.
Reading also activates a sensory mechanism, but along with just a phonological decoding of words that you read, it also activates through the neural pathways different areas of brain, which allows you to interpret it or imagine a situation. For example, you read about how green a garden is, with what flowers it has, but you're just not reading and interpreting it from a phonological perspective, but you're also activating another part of your brain that is imagining how that looks. So along with that also, you activate your attention span, or that is affected. Your memory is also affected, and in a positive way, and also allows you to reason. And this mechanism is said to improve tremendously in children, where particularly the white matter of the brain is involved in connecting all these different parts of the brain, and where the white matter is also responsible in transmitting these signals to different parts of the brain and coordinate all the signals